What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, where I'm lately posting some beta pictures as of last night. And that's Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, I brought it back to life. The PlayStation Vita. It still lives, my friend.
I'm kind of surprised that the battery still charges, but then again, that thing's not that old.
Dude, I had to recharge it. I instantly went in there. Yo, your Doom guy joins us over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, just like you can every day at 11 a.m. And over on YouTube at ITG Reviews. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, I'm a little wound up this morning. I'm going to be honest. Dude, the Vita last night, I'm like, okay, so here's let me lay it down for you. This is what happened. Brad booted up his Vita. Northern Nerdcast puts the Vita, takes a picture of it, and sends it to our Discord. I instantly went, yo, what is on my Vita? And now I left it up. I do, right? And so I posted a couple pictures, screenshot. You got the main screen, right? Uncharted Golden Abyss right there. I'm like, thank you very much. Swipe that screen. Yo, I've got Broken Sword 5 on there. 1 and 2. I've got Grim Fandango, Spy. Oh, well, man, what was that Spy game I had? Oh, crap. It was so good, though. It was a 2D side scroller.
For some reason, so cool. Spy Hunter just popped into my head. Oh, we haven't seen one of those in 20 years.
Dude, it was a trip down memory lane last night as I'm flipping through my Vita going, what could have been? But
I have to find my 3DS.
Oh, man.
I've got it somewhere around here, but just like everything, it's just out of reach.
Dude, coming up on today's show, Xbox and Bethesda have confirmed their showcase for June. What do we think will be shown? We'll be talking about that today. Gears 5 developers are moving on to future projects, and Xbox is rising to the top. Dun, 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 dun. Dude, that's a whole lot of Xbox stuff in the first 3 topics of the show today. So let's get going, because there's definitely a lot to talk about, and I want to get to it all today. Can we do it, Scott? Because we have, hang on, 1, 2, 3, still scrolling, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, holy, and 9 topics today, Scott. We got a loaded show, man. I don't know if we're going to get to it all, but we're going to try our darndest. Let's get going. Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase has been confirmed for June. Now, here's 2 things. I got this from Tom Ivan over at VGC, but it's also in my email. I just got a press release this morning on it. There isn't all that much to showcase here. And the fact that it's really just Microsoft has confirmed plans for their hosting E3 style Xbox and Bethesda Showcase event on Sunday, June 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can find it on all the usual places. They'll be talking about the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase will include everything you need to know about the diverse lineup of games coming soon to the Xbox ecosystem, including upcoming releases to Xbox Game Pass and PC. Dude, that's it. Now, let's get into further details as we discuss the future of Xbox Showcase. What do you predict to see there?
Well, I'm wondering how much is going to be Xbox and how much would be purely Bethesda out of these 2 kind of partners. Because if it's only Bethesda, then I'm thinking, well, there's Starfield.
Starfield!
We're going to see a lot of
It's got to be there. I think that makes total sense to have Starfield there.
I think we're within 100 days of release now, something crazy like that. Or maybe it's 200. I keep seeing the countdown on Twitter.
They do have the countdown, right? I think that's the biggest thing, that every day we kind of get this new update of where Starfield is at, which makes me pretty confident in the fact that we are going to get this on November 11th when it's actually supposed to release.
My only disappointment and worry so far, which has not yet confirmed, I don't think it's going to have as good of a soundtrack as any of the Fallout games.
That's fair.
And that's a little unfortunate.
Well, it's a whole different setting, right? It's a whole different atmosphere and what they're trying to build within this world.
It'd be a little weird if it was Marty Robbins' Big Iron out in space.
Well, that's just it. Your Doom guide says id Software new IP ? Maybe. Will we be moving back into the world of Doom, Scott, or you think id's moving on to something else?
Well, Quake still has yet to come back, and there's been a lot of rumors about a Quake remaster of some sort. So I'm hoping for Quake personally, because that's other than Doom, that's kind of like the next best thing. Maybe other than Wolfenstein, I would love to see another Wolfenstein.
Will we see anything out of Arcane? What are they working on next now that Deathloop is over, right? That game is finished. It's been released on to... Oh, here's another thought. I just had this. Will Deathloop now get the update going to Xbox? Will they announce it's coming to Xbox Game Pass at E3? Is that like, we don't know what the contract is lined up with PlayStation and Deathloop? Do they have to run it for a full year? Do they have to run it for 6 months, 2 months, 3 months? I think if we would have seen 2 months, 3 months, we already would have seen it on Xbox. So I got a feeling that they could announce when it's coming, maybe drop that little bit of news within the showcase. But the bigger thing I'm looking forward to, and hopefully they're going to have, dude, is Fable news. Do we see anything from Fable out of Playground? We've heard rumors of them kind of struggling over there at Playground, trying to get all of the mechanics and things ironed out because, well, they're not really known for an open world game, right? So they're trying their hands into new territory and kind of dipping their toes in the water. And here's the biggest thing, Scott, they're bringing on one of the biggest IPs that Xbox has. So that's something you cannot really screw up, right? You got to be able to nail this. So I don't see us, driving at 300 miles an hour in Fable.
No, that would be a little strange. Although, if it's done well, Fable could make it work. It does have a bit of safety with that name.
Fairy wings, dude. You just got a bunch of fairy wings and you're across the map in seconds. Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely hoping we see something out of Fable. And then what's next for Gears? Do we see any Gears content?
Yeah, because it been 2 or 3 years now since Gears 5. It's been quite some time.
At least
and
right?
They've done a few major additions to that game, Hive Busters and the like. So
sure,
they've been busy at work, but I haven't heard anything about a new Gears at all. I'm getting my Doom and my Gears mixed up. That would be an unholy union. I would be there for it.
Yeah, we'll see, dude. I'm always excited. We love E3, the E3 atmosphere. Because I'm not really gonna call it E3 anymore because I think E3 is just done.
Yeah, well, right? Summer Games Fest.
That's we do have that. But dude, speaking of Gears 5 developer focusing on future projects comes from Don Peppiette over at VG 24/7. Gears 5 developer is just about ready to give up on his last game and move on to something wholly different. Oh, Scott, that might just answer our question there.
I'm not sure if give up is the proper term when you've made a boatload of money and everybody loves it.
Microsoft Game Studio developer The Coalition has announced that it's removing the map builder feature from 2019's action shooter hit Gears 5 in order to allow the staff at the studio to focus on future projects. If you were unclear, the map builder mode was designed to allow players to create custom levels for the escape mode that came with the game. But what could the team be working on, could be moving to work on? We heard back in 2021, the Coalition was moving to the Unreal Engine 5 for production on multiple new projects in the esteemed action series. Dude, that we saw recent footage come out of the Coalition and what they're experimenting with and the ability what that Unreal Engine 5 brings to the table now. And we're starting to see, I think as last we heard, is about 50% of the developer teams in the gaming industry are working on Unreal Engine 5. As a series veterans will know, Gears has a long history with the Unreal Engine, and the first Gears of War title was famously developed by Epic and showed off the engine's chops back on the 360, and it stands to reason that whatever's next, Gears 6, Gears Tactics 2, oh man, that'd be cool, or something else, will be the benchmark game for yet the unproven Unreal Engine 5. Scott, are you disappointed that you think they're moving on to something completely different, or they're just moving on to the next game?
I think Gears is one of those franchises. It'll always be there, whether they return to it in a year or two.
Sure,
that would still be fine. But the idea of getting that team onto other projects is more exciting to me than the worry about Gears, because these are very capable developers. They have a good, huge track record of pumping out amazing games, and they're going to a new engine. So I imagine that has a lot of creativity flowing instead of just being locked down to the same old. So I hope a lot of great ideas are expressed out of this, and maybe we get a couple different IPs.
I think that is the exciting thing to hear, that it is something new, right? It is a new project that they're looking to work on and move forward into something fresh. I think that's the biggest thing for the studio, is to bring new life and breathe new life into the studio and go, okay, we're not back in the world of Gears again, right? You gotta wonder often when we talk about Call of Duty and those teams that work on Call of Duty year in and year out, do you get burnt out on the same game fatigue kind of hitting you with that sort of scenario, right? And you kind of question then moving forward, is it time for something to be refreshing in the in the studio to revitalize the creative juices per se, to get into something new and exciting. Dude, remember, was it the Coalition initially revealed some kind of like stealth? Oh no, or that was the Initiative. My bad. I was thinking about the Initiative. Remember the Initiative announced that they were making, or they were testing the waters, and they had some kind of like stealth game. It's like, yo, bring that back. But dude, Gears Tactics 2 would be a cool thing as well. Gears Tactics 1 was great. Like, it was really good.
I only played maybe about a half hour of that game. I really just for some reason did not dig into it. But it's tactics games. I think I go in and out of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Very rarely.
No, absolutely. Scott, let's keep the show moving on as revenues are up 6% to $3.74 billion and Xbox's best non-holiday quarter to date. This comes from James Batchelor over at GamesIndustry.biz. Content and services, including Xbox Game Pass, grew 4% to, what is that, 3.02 billion yen, but fell short of expectations. Euro? My bad. Okay. Microsoft has released the results for the third quarter of its fiscal year, showing a strong performance for the company's Xbox business. For the 3 months ended March 31st, 2022, gaming revenues were up 6% year over year. Microsoft added that it is improving on an already solid comparable quarter in 2021, a year that benefited from the recent launch of the Xbox Series X and S and came to some continued to stay at home measures as well. That's what the studio is now moving to, a work from home environment, which a lot of us have as well. Nico Partners analyst Daniel Ahmad broke this down further, revealing revenues reached $3.7 billion and declaring this is the best non-holiday quarter in Xbox history. Ahmad reports Xbox content and services, which encompasses game sales, digital transactions, subscriptions such as Game Pass, third-party game royalties, Xbox-related cloud services, and advertising, accounts for 81% of the gaming revenues, or around $3.2 billion. This is up 4% over the compared to the same period in 2021. And for the first time, this segment has generated more than $3 billion during the first quarter of a calendar year. Scott, things are happening over at Xbox, man.
Yeah, not terribly surprising in context. In context of the tail end of this pandemic and everybody being locked down, we saw a huge increase in gaming numbers. The dollars spent over the last 2 years has just continued to rise. Is that going to plateau? Is that going to drop off as we hit 2023? Is the world ever going to get back to normal, or is gaming just keep getting bigger and bigger? And I see a lot of people on Twitter already taking these numbers and saying, well, what's this mean for PlayStation? No, PlayStation's going to be just fine. Do not worry.
I'm not worried. Microsoft Chief Financial Officer Amy Hood mentioned during the company's earnings calls that this growth was below expectations. Xbox hardware revenue, meanwhile, rose 14% thanks to both continued demand and increased supplies for the Xbox Series X and S. During an earnings call, Microsoft's CEO Satya Nadella, dude, every time I say Nadella, I always go to Nutella. Yo, shout out to the chocolate sauce, dude. That stuff's so good.
Chocolate sauce. That sounds like something Nate would say.
Discuss more of Xbox accomplishments, starting with the claim that the platform holder has, quote, taken share globally for 2 quarters in a row, end quote. He added that the Xbox Series X and S was a market-leading next-gen console during this quarter in the US, Canada, UK, and Western Europe. Earlier this week, the NPD Group revealed Xbox enjoyed its biggest March ever in terms of US sales, and the Xbox Series X and S generated the most dollar sales for the past quarter. Scott, Xbox is definitely catching up, if not starting to surpass PlayStation currently. Right, I think I think there's a mind share that's starting to shift a little bit over to the world of Xbox, and I think a lot of it has come down to Game Pass.
Yeah, well, and everybody's experiencing growth, I believe. But this is just Xbox catching up just a little bit to the really great 2 years that Sony's had.
No, yeah, for sure, right? Nadella also discussed the growth of the Xbox cloud gaming, with more than 10 million people having streamed games to date. Xbox cloud gaming is only available to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers, indicating that at least 40% of the 25 million Game Pass subscribers, as revealed earlier this year, are signed up to the higher tier. Scott, that's a pretty big number, dude. And you gotta wonder now, with PlayStation moving forward with their new subscription model, if they're able to kind of take some of that mind share back on what they're trying to build over there, because they're starting to get into this cloud streaming sort of situation, now bringing over PlayStation Now, bundling it all together, right? We covered it yesterday in the show, the different tiers you can get in. So I'm curious to see. It's a weird situation to be in for PlayStation, where Xbox is now surpassing because of Xbox Game Pass, right? And Ultimate subscribers.
Oh, it was a great idea. Clearly, that Game Pass. They just they'll ride that for another decade, I'm sure.
Absolutely, Scott. What I'm going to be riding though is Sifu content update for the roadmap of 2022. This included the roadmap. Our seasonal updates kicking off this spring with difficulty options and advanced training, as well as new outfit selections to keep you looking fresh as you fight your way to vengeance. Later this summer, fans can expect advanced scoring and more gameplay modifiers. As fall nears, replay editor will allow you to share your most awesome moves in combat alongside new modifiers and outfits. Dude, that is cool. To go back and have a replay editor.
Yeah, I like the idea of that, clipping together some of your own kind of clips. Man. Well, because you like to play around with photo mode, so I wonder if it's going to be that detailed or if it's going to be just a little bit more of a basic kind of thing.
I don't know, but I'm definitely going to jump in. I want to see if I can string a bunch of combos together, and then how can I choreograph that in an editor and then send it out as like a little clip, right? 30-second, 1 minute clip, whatever I can make. I wonder how long it'll be. Can you do like a 5-minute whole segment and just patch it all together? Dude, you can start making like a little mini series or something, right? Wrapping up the winter season will be a completely new game mode, Arenas, which they have nothing to share, honestly. So what that came down to, I was like, crap, what is this? Nah, we ain't gonna tell you anything. I was like, ah, man, come on.
Kind of maybe a horde mode. You just last as long as you can, but
yeah.
Well, that's difficult. That's not easy to do in that game.
No.
But with a difficulty options, this does open it up. And Sifu is known for being ridiculously hard, so there's a bit of an appeal just for that difficulty. But to see a difficulty option, I think, is what's going to get a whole lot more people onto this game. And could we have a possible streaming series out of you, Drew? Maybe in the near future?
Yeah, maybe. We could maybe follow up with something like that. I think we could do that. We could do a live stream. It wouldn't be on television just due to the language in the game. So we'd have to keep it off the TV networks.
Try and get around.
Dude, to edit that out would be a nightmare. So that ain't gonna happen. But yeah, for an absolute live stream on Twitch and YouTube, yeah, we could definitely hook that one up. Dude, let's get into it.
Maybe you go to sound effects, turn voice volume all the way down, no subtitles. That's the only way I would do it. That's a little review trick for anybody out there.
There you go. PS Plus premium time trials will reportedly be created by PlayStation and not the developers. Dude, I thought this was cool to find out this morning. This comes from David over at PSU. It looked like these demos would fall to the developers, but now, however, it looks like PlayStation will create the demos, not the developers. This new update comes from the author of the original Kotaku report, who tweeted that this source had provided an update after the news was published. It's good to hear that these new mandated demos won't fall to the developers to create, but as reportedly correctly noted, this does not remove all possible concerns regarding this potential new mandate. Scott, is there really a concern moving forward then if PlayStation takes this on themselves?
I don't really think so.
I don't think so either.
The problem would be PlayStation's, I suppose, just staffing enough of a department to keep that going for all the new releases.
Right.
But we had some concern. Does that come down? Is that just going to push indie devs out of the space? Smaller companies that just don't have the means or really the time to put that much effort into a 2-hour trial kind of secondary thing. That could have been really messy. That could have been negative on the development side. So it's really good to have that clarification. Somebody clearly went, oh no, wait, we forgot this detail. And it's a pretty big detail.
Well, absolutely, right? I think it's a vital detail to have in there, the knowing that now just go about making your game. It's not on you to be providing a demo to those consumers who are looking to play it or test it out, right? To see if they actually want to dive into the full version of that released game. It's now up to Sony. Now, how does Sony tackle this then, Scott? Do they give you So they give you 2 hours. We know you're getting 2 hours of the game, but where do they place you within the game? Do they give you the very beginning of the game? Do they give you part way through the game? They ain't going to give you the ending. But you know what I mean? Like, where do you find that medium of here's where the game really kind of thrives? And they want to be able to hook you, right? Because they want to push those sales onto the PlayStation platform by bringing out these demos. So, or these trials.
Nathan said something. And Nate said something interesting yesterday where the clock starts when you hit that download button, and that seems a little cheap to me. I'm not sure if I can't confirm that that's exactly what happens. We're not in that situation yet, but I think that would be a really bad way of handling it.
I can't see that being the way, dude. The minute you hit the download, you know, some people take 2 hours just to download a game. If you're getting the full game, right? So here's a prime example. Are you ready for this? My brother, right, lives out in the sticks. So for him to download a 40 gig game, dude, it just takes him forever, right? He just kind of hits the download, waits the day out, and then it might be done by the end of the night. So if that's the case, he'll never get to try out any of these games. That's not how that works.
I didn't realize he was far out there. Is that why he's so bad at Hood?
Yeah.
I'm kidding, Darren. You're pretty all right.
Yeah, it's
he can hit more headshots than I can.
All right, yeah, so it's curious to see. Dude, let's move into what's happening over with Bethesda as sunsetting the Bethesda.net launcher is migrating to Steam. The biggest thing here now is that everything's moving over. You are now able to transfer over your Bethesda.net game library to your Steam account. So they have instructions over there at help.bethesda.net. So that's something you'll be able to move everything over. Starting on May 11th, you will no longer be able to play your games on the Bethesda.net launcher. You will still be able to access the launcher and your library. So just if you have a Bethesda.net set up and your games are on there, transfer them as soon as possible because you are not that far off from losing it all.
I think you will have quite some time to make that migration. I don't believe that's May 11th, and then if you haven't done it by then, your games are just gone. I don't think that's how it works. But you are going to want to move that quickly just to, if there's any sort of bugs, they'll get squashed. You want to be on the leading edge of that. But they've also made mention that there are free-to-play titles coming as part of this move. And that includes Elder Scrolls Arena, which I've never played. Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall, which I've, again, never played. A little bit before my time.
Yeah.
And Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. And I'm not familiar with that game at all. I've never heard of Enemy Territory.
No, me either. But Scott, we're at the end of the show. Dude, you have 1 minute. Ready? Go. What games are out today?
We have Arise, A Simple Story on the Switch. We have Bug Snacks on Xbox Series 1, X and S, and the Switch. Dorf Romantic.
Yeah.
Dorf
Romantic. Dude,
PC.
It's weird.
We have Rogue Legacy 2 on Xbox One, Series X, S, and PC. Rogue Lords, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. And Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 on PlayStation 4.
That's not bad. Dude, that was 30 seconds. Well done. Yo, so we got a bit of time. We got about 30 seconds left. Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Corey and I actually reviewed that already. If you want to check it out over in ITG Reviews. It's one that really didn't click with us. I'll give you a bit of a heads up on that one. Dude, Dorf Romantic actually looks pretty cool. I checked it out on PC. It's a unique looking like city builder kind of thing. Very cool.
Okay.
Dude, that's going to wrap up today's show. As always, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG Reviews. But if you can't join us live, you're more than welcome to hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew, that's Scott, and we'll see you inside the game.